A man may sleep with someone available, but he becomes intensely attached to the woman who awakens a singular, profound feeling within him. And no, it's not what you might immediately assume. Forget everything you think you know about attraction magazines. Friends' advice? Hollywood movies? This isn't about secret techniques, flawless looks, or being the most charming person in the room. That's the beginner's game. It might attract attention briefly, but looks fade quickly. Today we're talking about something far deeper, something invisible. It's a switch in the brain, a neurological trigger deep in a man's limbic system and ancient, powerful and capable in seconds, of distinguishing a fleeting encounter from an enduring mental attachment. Have you ever wondered why a man who seemed fully invested suddenly turns cold? Why you gave your best loving, attentive, brilliant hand, yet he chose someone else? Or the hardest question, why do certain women, without extraordinary effort or perfection, inspire almost irrational loyalty, while you feel you must fight for every ounce of attention? The answer isn't in what you do, it's in what you awaken. In him, the real question isn't how to make a man desire you physically. That's instinctual and easy to ignite. The life-changing question is, how do you become unforgettable in his mind? How do you trigger that silent, invisible force, the mental drug that separates women who are merely liked from those who linger permanently in his thoughts? What I'm about to share is not a seduction tactic. This is a truth rooted in male psychology, confirmed by neuroscience and evolutionary biology. Once you understand it, you gain remarkable influence, because the male body follows the mind, and his mind isn't seeking what everyone else offers. He's searching for something rarer, something you likely already possess but haven't yet learned to leverage. Stay with me, and you'll never see attraction the same way again. We face a paradox that confuses many women. Pop culture tells us we need a checklist of traits to attract a man: beauty, a toned body, charm, sexual skill. The list feels endless, pressuring women to present themselves as the perfect package. Many invest time, energy, and emotion, striving for that ideal. Yet in reality, something puzzling happens. Perfect on-paper relationships fall apart. Men lose interest in women who seem flawless. At the same time, women who don't fit the conventional ideal inspire devotion, desire, even obsession. Why? Because the focus has been on the wrong door. For decades, women have targeted physical attraction, the visible, the body. Meanwhile, they've ignored a more important, better guarded door, the door to a man's mind. And that is where the key lies. This is the difference between a fleeting encounter and a lasting bond. Between being one option and being the priority, between being one of many or the only one. None of this is determined in the bedroom. It is decided silently on the invisible battlefield of his mind. Inside his brain exists a filter, a highly selective gatekeeper. Every experience and interaction with you passes through it, and a stark binary judgment is made. Is this just a pleasant, interchangeable moment to be stored and forgotten? Or does it contain a unique catalyst that marks it as decisive? It's the latter. The experience becomes anchored in long-term memory and, more importantly, it activates the brain centers for deep desire and reward. The challenge is that most popular seduction strategies only satisfy this mental gatekeeper temporarily enough for one night, but they have no idea how to provide the deeper secret ingredient that truly opens the main door. That's why this topic is so important. When you understand it, you break free from the exhausting race for external perfection. You no longer need to twist yourself or pretend to be someone else. Instead, you can focus your energy where it genuinely matters, on creating a lasting connection. What we're uncovering here is the essence of that catalyst, the chemical composition of this mental drug. I'll explain exactly what it is, why the male brain responds to it biologically, and most importantly, how you can generate it naturally without games, tricks, or compromising who you are. Here's my promise. If you stay, you won't just learn a new concept. We'll understand the operating system of male desire on a level most people completely overlook. And with that understanding comes true power, the power to create a deep, meaningful impact. So what is this mental drug? What is the secret ingredient that bypasses all of a man's defenses and reaches his innermost control center. The answer comes in a single word, one you might not expect. It is not passion, it is not mystery, it is not beauty. The word is admiration. I know what you might be thinking. Admiration sounds cold, not exactly sexy, feels like something reserved. For a mentor or boss, not a partner. And it is precisely in that misconception that its power lies. To understand why admiration fuels the deepest male desire, we need to peek inside his mind and basic programming. From an evolutionary and psychological perspective, man is wired to seek, to fight, and to conquer, not just physically, but in terms of status, hierarchy, and purpose. He has a deep need to feel competent, capable, and able to create and protect. Physical attraction sparks interest. It's the first step. He sees you and instinct shouts, "I want her." But this desire, one-sided and superficial, can vanish just as quickly as it arises. Admiration, however, transforms everything. When a man admires you for qualities beyond your appearance or intelligence, the passion with which you pursue your work, your integrity, your humor, the calm way you handle challenges, or your dedication to a hobby he doesn't even care about, something shifts chemically in his brain. Suddenly, his thought changes from, "I want her," to, "Am I good enough for her?" The balance of power shifts. He is no longer the hunter pursuing prey. Instead, he is facing a woman with her own realm, her own value, her own light. You stop being just desire. You become inspiration, and that feeling carries incredible power for a man. It's the difference between, "I want to sleep with her," and "I want to stand by her side." Think about it. Physical desire seeks possession, but admiration seeks connection. He doesn't just want to have you, he wants to understand you, to learn from you, to absorb a bit of your energy and uniqueness. This doesn't mean you need to be a CEO or a NASA scientist. Admiration isn't about monumental achievements. It's about authenticity and passion. It's the light in your eyes when you talk about a book that changed your perspective. It's the confidence with which you voice your opinion at dinner, even if everyone else disagrees. It's the moment. He laughs as you struggle, frustrated but determined, to assemble a piece of furniture. In these moments, he isn't just seeing an attractive woman. He sees a fascinating, independent person. And his primal brain, craving challenge and meaning, activates. Attraction ceases to be a game, becomes a mission. But here lies the dilemma, the trap most of us fall into. If admiration is the strongest driver of male desire, why do society and our own fears push us to do the opposite? Why are we taught to shrink ourselves, to dim our light, so as not to intimidate men? This contradiction kills attraction because it forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Admiration fuels male desire, yet we've been conditioned to suppress it. From childhood, we hear it whispered, see it on screens, and internalize it as universal truth. Don't be too smart. Don't be too successful. Don't be too independent, or you'll scare men away and end up alone. Sound familiar? It's one of the most paralyzing lies told 2 generations of women. To be desirable, society teaches you must stop being admirable. Here's the twist. The myth isn't entirely false, but it's catastrophically misinterpreted. In misunderstanding it, we sabotage ourselves. The truth is, a man of real value is never intimidated by your strength. He only retreats if you treat him like a rival. He doesn't fear your intelligence. He feels drained if your achievements are wielded as a weapon against him. Your success doesn't intimidate him, but if it's used to belittle his, he will lose interest. Think of it this way. Male energy is naturally oriented toward problem-solving, competition, and progress. When a man approaches you romantically, he's seeking polarity, a feminine energy that complements his, not competes with it. But if a woman, trying to prove her worth, enters combat mode arguing to win, constantly correcting, undermining his opinions, or competing over who is smarter or more accomplished, he no longer sees her as a partner, he sees a rival. And sexual polarity, that magnetic spark between masculinity and femininity, disappears immediately. Consider Sophia. Sophia is brilliant, a successful executive, independent, educated, and she often complains that men can't handle successful women. On her dates, she talks at length about her career, achievements, travels, and bonuses. If her date mentions his accomplishments, she counters with something bigger. If he expresses a political opinion, she dismantles it with arguments until he's left speechless. Sophia believes she's showcasing her worth, presenting herself as admirable. But men leave these encounters not impressed. They feel exhausted, as if they've just endured a job interview or worse, a court trial. Men aren't threatened by your success. They feel judged, evaluated, and ultimately unnecessary. What happened? Later in Sophia's life illustrates the point further. She met a man who kept pace with her, or rather settled comfortably into it. A passive man without ambition, content to exist in her shadow. Over time, she lost all respect and attraction. For him, the crucial question: should you shrink yourself to fit his world? Dim your light to soothe his insecurity? The answer is a firm, uncompromising no. Never. This isn't an empty slogan. It's the most strategic insight for choosing a partner. The moment you shrink yourself for him, you lose the ability to see clearly who is truly valuable versus who is just a frightened boy in an adult body. A low-value man reacts to a strong woman like a vampire confronted with sunlight. Your light doesn't inspire him. It exposes his fears, his insecurities, his lack of ambition. Then he has two options: grow or try to pull you into the darkness. He may attempt to dim your light with jokes, doubts, or guilt, labeling you intimidating or too intense. When a man does this, he is resigning. He's showing you, I'm not the right one. And you should thank him and move on. A high-value man, on the other hand, responds to your light with fascination. Your success motivates him. Your intelligence excites him. Your independence attracts him naturally. To him, you're not a threat. You're an honorable challenge. Summit a mountaineer wants to climb. Work of art a connoisseur wants to. Understand? Here lies the deepest secret of male desire. It's not the sight of a naked woman that triggers him. It's the woman fully clothed, fully in her element, burning with passion, absorbed in her world. And he quietly thinks, I want to be worthy to stand by her side. Not, I want to have her, but I want to become better because of her. At this point, attraction is no longer just about you. It's about who he wants to become. To be near you? This is the most powerful influence imaginable. He's not addicted to you. He's addicted to the best version of himself that you awaken. You are the lighthouse. You repel the wrong men and attract the right ones. How do you apply this in real life? Not through tactics, but through a radical shift in focus. Stop asking, what does he like? Start asking, what ignites me? Forget for a moment about men, dates, or attraction. Ask yourself these questions quietly, just for you. What topic makes me speak so passionately, I almost lose my ep? Breath. What activity absorbs me so fully that I forget my phone for hours? What injustice lights a fire in my heart? What unpopular opinion would I defend with conviction and clarity? What is my nerd side? That one unusual passion, maybe ancient Roman history, specialty coffee, or the films of a Korean director that you usually keep to yourself because you think no one cares? That is where your gold lies. These are the ingredients of the mental drug we've been discussing. Your goal isn't to invent something new, but to rediscover, unearth, take pride in what's already within you. The next step is to understand that it's not about informing, it's about transmitting. You don't go on a date to recite a resume. Hi, I like climbing, stoic philosophy, and art house films. It's a report. Boring. It's about making your passion felt. If you're discussing films, say something like, that one scene fascinated me because of the lighting. Look how the director crafted it. Or take initiative. There's an antiquarian book market in the city on Saturday. Want to go? I love the smell of old books. It's about letting your energy fill the room.
Don't worry if he likes
Books. What captivates him is your enthusiasm for them. Now, what should you avoid? Stop suppressing your true opinions to avoid conflict. Stop pretending to love football when you're bored out of your mind. Stop playing the helpless girl so he can save you. Stop being his personal cheerleader while your own dreams gather dust. And what should you start doing? Fiercely defend your time for your projects and hobbies. Stop constantly sacrificing your social life for him. Don't fear discussions. I disagree. I see it differently. Show your journey, including the setbacks. I'm learning programming. Right now, nothing worked today, but tomorrow, I'll try again. Be the main character in your own story. He can be a great co-star, but never the director. This path is intimidating because it guarantees one thing. Some men will leave. Maybe men you're physically attracted to. It's maybe men who feel intimidated or simply don't connect. But this is not failure. It's a victory of your new filter. Every man who leaves because your light is too bright saves you months or years with the wrong one, creates space for the right one. The one who can not only stay, but actively seeks exactly that. The ingredients for this? Admiration drug are not found in a lingerie shop there in your bookshelf. In a conversation with a friend who challenges you, in the business plan lying in your drawer. On your next solo trip, tend your garden not to attract butterflies, but to make it so spectacular that only the best. Butterflies can't resist visiting. We've come a long way together. We've debunked the myth of intimidation. We've uncovered the immense power of admiration. I've shown you how to tend your own garden and become a woman who serves as a living filter. But if you think this is merely a strategy to attract men, you're missing 90% of the treasure. You're missing the true heart of this journey. Because, at the end of the day, it was never really about him. It was about you. It has always been about you. For years, we've turned our heads outward, constantly seeking validation and approval. We've asked ourselves, am I pretty enough? Interesting enough? Good enough? We've shaped our personalities, our bodies, and our choices to earn someone else's yes. The path we've opened today is revolutionary. It's the moment to turn your head 182, look inward. Stop asking whether you're good enough for him, and start asking, is the life I'm living good enough for me? Imagine your life as a campfire. For too long, we've been told to go through life with a small flickering flame, desperately looking for someone to bring wood so it doesn't die out. It was a dependent, exhausting search. Today's approach is completely different. It's about stopping the search. It's about sitting down alone if needed. Focusing all your energy and attention on lighting your own fire, gathering your passions, your knowledge, your skills, your friendships, and building it layer by layer until your fire is so big, so hot and so bright that it can be seen from miles away. People aren't drawn to a struggling flicker. They are irresistibly drawn to the warm, powerful glow of a blazing fire. Being admirable isn't a performance for a date. It's the natural result of respecting yourself. When you value your time, your opinions, your passions, and your body, you send a silent yet undeniable message. This is how you will be treated. And here's the true beauty of this philosophy, the reason it's infallible. When you live like this, only two outcomes are possible. Scenario 1. A great man, a man of true value, notices your fire from afar. He feels drawn to it, not to control it, but to bring his own wood, sit beside you, and share the warmth. Together, you make the fire even stronger. This is a relationship built on mutual respect and genuine admiration. The ideal scenario 2. You build your fire and months or even a year pass, and you're still alone. Is that failure? Not at all. You are a woman who knows more, has experienced more, is stronger, happier, and more fulfilled than you were before. We're so deeply in love with your own life, with your own fire. A man's arrival becomes a beautiful bonus. It's a desperate necessity. Because the deepest form of attraction, the kind that creates legends, has nothing to do with becoming the woman he wants. It's about being complete, authentic, and vibrantly alive in your own skin. So that standing by your side and sharing your warmth becomes an absolute privilege. So here lies the fire, and here lies the decision. A decision you must make, not just today, but every single day. Every morning when you wake up, every time you meet someone new, every time a conversation goes deeper, before you, two paths appear. Path 1 is the old, wide, well-trodden path, the path of adapting. The path where you smooth your edges so you don't offend, where you laugh at jokes that don't amuse you, where you nod even as your mind screams no. The path of turning yourself into a watered-down, pleasing version of yourself, hoping someone will choose you. The path of seeking validation. Path 2 is the one we've explored today. Narrower, steeper, sometimes lonelier. The path of building yourself stone by stone, choosing to read that book instead of the trendy series. Enrolling in a course that challenges you, even if friends don't understand. Voicing your opinion, even if your voice trembles. This is the path of embracing your uniqueness, falling in love with your own mind, and becoming a woman who doesn't wait to be chosen, but actively chooses where she invests her time and energy. This is the path of self-respect. In the end, it comes down to one question, not one you ask him, but one you ask yourself. If a man who was once in your life remembers you years later, what should linger in his memory? A pretty face, a nice body, a girl who agreed to everything. Those memories vanish like steam on a mirror, interchangeable, forgettable. Or do you want him to remember the fire in your eyes when you spoke about justice? To smile at the echo of your honest, unrestrained laughter. To feel transported back to a moment when he glimpsed your own gravitational center and inner world so fascinating it felt like a gift to witness, even for a brief instant. That is why my call to you is this. The next time you stand before the mirror, forget asking, how can I look more attractive? Instead, ask yourself a far more powerful question. How can I be a little more myself today? Don't aim to be the most beautiful in the room, a never-ending competition that drains you. Be the most interesting. Beauty catches the eye, boo.